my favorite time of the week. It's blast from the past Thursdays, and today in studio I have with me a winner. This man walks in here having just won Coach of the Year with the Hollywood Bets Super League, the Women's League. Godfrey, we called him Godfather. Those who know him closely will tell you he is GZS, Godfrey Zolile Sapula. Godfather, I've been trying to get you into my studio for a while, and I'm so happy you are eventually here.
Oh, thanks for the invitation. I think this is the right moment.
You come in, as I say, it's Coach of the Year is a big deal, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely.
For this is only your 1.5 season, isn't it? Or you started with the Sundowns ladies. Was it mid last season? The other season?
Yeah, the last quarter of the season as a technical advisor. Mm-hmm. Then the beginning of last season started to take over as a coach.
Yeah, and you win Coach of the Year. How do you do that?
It's they always say it's a team sport, which is true. I can never take credit on my own because there's a lot of people that contributed more than myself as an individual to win the award. As a coach, when you win an individual award, I always say that when the team is performing on the field, it's a reflection of you as a coach, how you're coaching the team. People look at you because that's a reflection of you, how they're performing, how they're playing, the personality, the character of the players on the field. But the tables turn when you win an award, and now it becomes the other way. It becomes the reflection of what the players are doing on the field, because we are being judged as the best coach because of how the players performed on the field, So I always give credit to the players, and I always say that the game belongs to the players. We can have all the strategies, plan, prepare, but at the end of the day, the people who have the responsibility, and the task to execute are the players, So I give a lot of credit to the players, to my technical team, the support staff, the chairman of the club, the board, everybody else, the Sundowns family.
Yeah. Sundowns winning this league is common. It's something they do year in, year out, and people who probably don't like Godfrey say, but he's coaching Sundowns. He was always going to win. Is it as easy as from outside it looks like? I say Sundowns, It's almost like there's no competition, but is it that easy?
I would not say that, because you still gotta do the job. You still gotta motivate the players, push the players to perform at the desired level, because at the end of the day, Sundowns is a big club with big ambitions, So you make winning a habit, but winning is a result of what you do, every single day, training to prepare for match day, And I'm saying this because, being a player before being a coach and played for this club, I understand the demand and the ambitions of this club. And for me, obviously, given this task, yes, the team has been winning, but I also understand with the DNA of the club that the ambition and the expectation is to perform, to win every football match and eventually win the league. And that's expected. And I'm saying this because also for me, the transition moving from the men's game to the women's game, it was not just going to be a given that we are going to win the league. The expectation is there, the resources are there. Okay, we understand, but you still gotta do the work.
Yeah. Just how, it's a question I've been wanting to ask you. How different is it? You've coached, we'll talk about some of the teams you've coached, especially at Sundowns, but you just said that moving from the men's game to the women's. How different is it?
It's, I also say that initially I didn't understand. I thought it's just football. They are all athletes,
yeah, sure.
And we are all governed by the factors of performance, men or women's football. Mm-hmm. Yes, to a larger extent, it's true. But I had to learn quick that when it comes to those factors of performance, there's others that take more priority than others, when you compare the men's and the women's game. To be more specific, obviously there's technical, tactical, physical, social, psychological. That's number one when it comes to the women's game. You gotta take care of that social, psychological space, because that's where you get to deal with the emotional side, You gotta get the right balance, understanding the emotional side of how the players feel, it takes more priority in comparison to the men's game. Men's game, it doesn't matter how you feel, the emotional side and the psychological side. But in the women's game is different. You gotta get that balance correct. Otherwise, if you don't, you lose the change.
How do you get it right? I mean, how do you, like you say, it's emotions, how do you handle that as a coach and as a man?
Yeah, also you will forever be students of the game, because there's certain things I didn't know moving into this space. But again, fortunate enough, within my technical team, I have people that have been in the women's space. They can always come and say, Coach, look at this, man. Here, reduce the foot of the pedal a bit because of this could be as a result of this and that. There's a lot of factors, the emotional side, the time of the month, and now you're pushing the player. You are not running, but the player is not feeling well, because of the time of the. So there's a lot of other things that you are not really aware at the moment. But as you move along, as you get the education from obviously the people that are around you, but also is to say, are you able to move into a space where you can talk to the players? You create an environment of trust between yourself and the players, so that the player can be able to say, hey, coaches, today I'm feeling a 7. I'm not going to be able to give a 10. So you move into that space of trust. Now you understand, okay, I might not expect 100% from player B and player X, but it takes a lot of sacrifice from you and compromise from you as a coach, to humble yourself and move into that space, so that you are able to say, okay, first, I trust you and I want you to trust me. Okay, let's move into that space so that I can be able to understand certain things better, because as I say, but also the bigger part of how I'm able to navigate this is with the support of the technical team.
Yeah, I mean, you speak of trust, and you took over this position given the cloud that hung above your predecessor. How hard or how easy was it to navigate this situation, where you get into a situation where the players get to trust you and start believing, okay, we can play for this guy and we won't have issues?
For me, it starts with me. It starts with my conduct. It starts with my work ethic. It starts with, it's not going to be what I say to the players. It's gonna be what they see me doing, and enforcing discipline, punctuality, and all these things, training intensity. I can never tell the players to be punctual when I'm late. It starts with me as a coach. They have to see also the training session is planned properly. Then they can respond, because they can see we are putting our work, we are putting effort, So it had to start with me. Before I engage the players, I had to first show them what is that I want from them, but starts from me and the technical team. So for me, it was not necessarily thinking about what happened in the past, but it's about me serving the club and doing the best in my abilities as a coach to make sure that I influence positively and make sure that I continue with the legacy and the success of the team getting positive results.
Yeah, but the issue of, I'm talking in terms of personal trust between the players and the coach.
The thing is, I will. It's difficult to comment on what happened in the past, because I want to have answers. So for me, it would be I start on the clean slate, because if I start on what happened on the past, there's going to be questions that come with that, and I won't have answers. So for me, it's either here nor there. I didn't want to focus on that. I just wanted to open a clean page, write my own history, and get to understand, because other people will say this player is like that, but I give everybody benefit of a doubt. We all start from scratch. Let's all work. Let's all earn our place in the starting lineup. No one is going to play because of who you are, so we had to all start from that and all work towards everybody raising their hands to say, we are starting a new chapter. A new chapter is with me as a coach, but we continue the chapter of success of winning the league, possibly continue to dominate the continent.
Yeah, I wanted to go there because the recent AFCON, or is it? It's called what? No, Champions League for
the
for
qualifier
women.
for Champions League.
There was. I mean, Sundowns didn't do well.
Yes.
How was that? How did that happen? Because I think as South Africans, it's almost like it's a given. Sundowns must go to the Champions League.
It's like that. I mean, we are a big club with big ambitions.
Yeah.
We have to take the club where it belongs, which is in the continental stage. And for me personally, as a coach, I was extremely disappointed that we got knocked out in the semi-final, which is just one game to move into the final and qualify for CAF Champions League. So for me, I was extremely disappointed about that. And what I can say is that we took lessons. We took great lessons and we had to sit and say, but because of these lessons, how do we now make sure that this does not happen again, Because I know that, and this is not an excuse, sometimes you win, everything is going for you, there's still lessons. But, after I sat back like this, there's better lessons to take from that, And I think for me, these are the lessons that will say to us, we are not invincible, and we have to earn everything, we have to go back to understanding what is it that made us to conquer Africa. Let's go back to say, with the evolution in football is evolving. Other teams are getting better and better. Are we getting better, or we think because of the success of the past we can still win, which is, it can't happen. We will not walk on the field because we're donning a Sundowns jersey and then we're going to win. We have to actually double our effort, because as the other teams are continuing to improve and progress, it means we also need to raise our level, And I feel there's certain things we didn't do as well as we should, which were the lessons that we hope we've learned, and we're definitely going to improve and put the team next one.
Yeah. I mean, you've been at Sundowns coaching them for a while, as we say. I looked at the clubs. You were at M Tigers. You worked with the under-17s. It's progression. Do we see you sitting on the main team's bench anytime soon? Is that the ambition?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the ambition. Otherwise, if you are in a club like Sundowns and you've been in these programs and you don't have an ambition to be with the senior team, then I think it's of no use. And obviously you must have an ambition to grow, to get better and coach at the highest level, and even with me, it's exactly that. I do have that ambition, because obviously when you start coaching, you do your courses, you pay your school fees, you go to academy. It's obviously you want to see yourself one day, coaching PSL, and yeah, I think for me, yes, in short, to answer you, yes, I have that ambition, but I have my short-term goals, obviously, which is I want to give the best of myself to the ladies team, which is obviously the biggest short-term ambition is to win Champions League.
People at the Sundowns fans are saying Pizzo, they want Cardoso out. They should be saying Godfrey. if Cardoso leaves, do you?
It's a difficult one. I don't want to have a discussion moving into that space.
Yeah, no. I'm just being silly. Godfrey, we've known you as a player over the years, but let's before I need to go back to your playing days, but your coaching. I look, you coached the Sundowns juniors, and there's been some big names that you coached. Pesitau, you worked with those. Yes. How fulfilling is it for you as a junior coach to see the boys that you worked with getting as big as a Pesi did?
No, it's absolutely fulfilling, and because obviously when I started as a junior coach, even before I retired, that's one thing I really wanted to do. I thought where we are also lacking as a country is to make sure that we nurture the talent and we bring the talent that can represent the country at the Bafana level and all that. And I thought we needed more coaches who who can do that. And I thought I wanted to do that. But when I first moved into Sundowns to coach under 17, yes, there were Pesitaus and them, and there's just a lot of them. I also scouted your Spelele Mkhulisi, you know, through my under 17 ranks, winning all these other trophies. Engine, and there was Thabo Mloisanis, Pesihle Mkhize, Promise Mkuma, Cassius Mailula. You know, there's a lot of them. You know, for me, it's really, really, really fulfilling. You know, to know that I've made a contribution and played a role. You know, to make these players the stars that they are today. But obviously, with the support and the contribution of the club, you know, giving us, you know, the opportunity and the possibility to do that.
Yeah, I mean, what you've played the game, you know how unstable the coaching job is. They always say you live with your suitcase packed. Why coaching? Why did you opt to go into coaching?
For me, I'm driven by my passion, to be honest with you, because maybe little did I know, you know, it now in hindsight, because when I was playing, you know, I would always engage coaches, but ask questions. I was inquisitive. I always want to understand, why are we doing this, not that, you know. I was one of those players to say, but
coaches don't like those kind of players.
They don't like, I know that, and I know, I understand.
I know that, too much.
Yeah, you know, what's kitchen, what's around the ground, but why is ngagijimeli, why is ngatraineli phakathi, why is he round, you know. I didn't understand some of the things, you know, before I even understood. Now after doing the licenses, okay, it's better to do football conditioning than isolated fitness, you know. But I always had those questions, but why is he round the ground, why is ngagijimeli phakathi, you know. I was not a fan of running, you know, road work, and I thought athletes, yes, about gym marathon, it's proper that
but
they are
not
training for what they're going to be doing as in their competition side of things. But in our footballers, man, we can gain the fitness through football. I was always that, but little did I know that this is actually preparing myself to be, you know. Also, when you're a coach, you're an educator, you know. You should not just coach, but you should be able to at least leave something with the players, educate players, make the players better, you know, in what they are doing, you know. So for me, I just thought, because I had that passion, you know, that I want to coach football, but also hence I said quickly I need to move into courses to attain my badges, because I thought you cannot coach football because of who you are, what you did when you were a player. There's evolution in football. You got to understand how things work. You got to understand the principles of training. You got to understand all these things, because with the information accessible, players are also accessible, can access the information. So if when Usalele move, players are going to be above you, and they ask you questions that you don't have answers to, because usalele mover. So you have to educate yourself, make sure that you are qualified and you have the information to give to the players.
Yeah, but your big mentor Braje does not believe in that. Braje has always said, I played, I can coach. How what kind of influence has he had on you?
Yeah, I think the coaches are different, you know. I'm even saying now, even when we did this cafe, you know, we had coaches that believe in the old way, which is okay, because they've won a lot of things. Exactly. You know, those coaches, they have the experience. But for us, you know, we are moving into coaching in an era where science is taking over. You know, data analysis is taking over. And I'm saying, for me, I'm moving with that. I'm not going to say, football is 11v11. No problem, I understand that. But I want to equip myself. I want to know more. I want, when my analyst says, coach, this is, I want to be able to ask the relevant questions. I want to have a better understanding, you know. That is me personally. But I respect the other coaches who want to do things their own way. And going to Braje, for me, played a big role, because he's the one who gave me an opportunity to play PSL when I was a young 19-year-old, 20-year-old Cosmos. I'll forever respect Braje. He's been a father figure to me. And we still contacting each other. You know, I also have to go to him, tap into his knowledge and experience, even now when there's few things that I don't understand, because you can't buy experience.
No, that's very true. The education, I mean, I look at your licenses. I mean, you've got the CAF-A, you've done even the periodization under that. What's that Raymond guy? That big, I mean, he's a big name.
Raymond Ferrein.
Tell me about what is that? I mean, You know, a lot of people one of the things I find about this football now, as you say, is a lot of terms. You know, they talk about high press, and you played football back then when you, Godfrey, will do what you do.
Yeah.
These terms were not there, and a lot of people are using that. Just what is it? You know, like you say, you've had to go and do periodization.
Yes.
What is that, and how does that help you as a coach and the team?
It's big time, big time. I can tell you that because I know the people that we attended this course, these courses. You know, KB was Coach Pito's conditioning coach.
Yes.
Coach Rolano also attended the course. So for me, that is why, because I say I always want to equip myself. I always want to know better about the game. And for me, you know, the periodization course, also what I liked about Raymond Ferren, he focuses on football matters, football conditioning, football fitness, football language. Exactly what you're saying, that there's these terms. But he's big on saying, let's have science coming into football, not football going to science. Let's have people from outside football coming into football and say, instead of they talk about these aerobic and anaerobic, simplify it, say fitness, because we understand fitness. You know, let's bring them, but let them come to football and come with football terms, not the other way around. That's one thing that I like about Raymond Ferren. But for me, it was just to understand periodization. It's a plan. It's a seasons plan. There's microcycle, all these. For me, it was important that I understand how to plan for the season, how to plan for each and every training session, because you gotta have an objective and you gotta know what is it that you are training and how to achieve that. And I was saying, you can't have that because of Minang Jalila. I know there's evolution, things change. You gotta understand certain things. You gotta understand what the science is angan. But you gotta go to school. You gotta learn so that you can combine this, what you get from this education, with your experience of playing, your knowledge, and how you see the game. Because I don't want to be a coach that I look at the game subjective. You know, I like more objectivity. You know, I like to be objective. That's why I like these things. I like data analysis and I like analysis, because you are able to be objective. You can't say to a player, "I went 1, 2, 3." You can show the player. And the player now can respect you, because you are not just saying it, you are showing them. You know, so that is why modern coaches, you gotta move with the times.
People like me who watched football back then, sometimes I sit and I'm like, I compare one of the things I find, a guy like a Roger Fitumba, for example. Roger Fitumba Hamak. It's not his job. But like lately, it looks like you guys as coaches, a player is expected to do just about everything. How is that? How do you reason that, especially you coming from that era? I mean, you don't come from far back, but
no, for me is the challenge is, again, you're talking about the caliber of the players. You know, Messi, Mark, and I don't think there's a coach that will say, "Oh, Messi, Mark," because Messi is that type of a footballer that if you give Messi the ball, if Messi is on the field, we have a high chance to win. But do we have we have many of those players now? You know, sometimes I think it's because of we don't have a lot of those players. We don't have a lot of Rocha Futumbas. That you know that each and every match, he will give you 2, 3, 4 assists and all that. We don't have many of those. So if you can have the Rocha Futumba, you can try to, you know, to compromise and say, but we have Rocha, let's try and play like this. But I don't think we have a lot of those players in today's game, you know. Hence now, the game is becoming more physical because now the game needs more athletes. There's more athletes than
players,
talented footballers. And now you got to have those players first before you can even think and say, okay, but let me adjust my formation. Because if you can play any formation, but within the formation is a system. System is the operations within the formation. You can say, for me, I play 4-3-3 like this. I can have this player, but in this system, you don't play like this. I want you to play like this. Because you know the qualities of the player and you know what the players can do and what the player cannot do. But I'm just saying that I agree with, there were more of those quality players in the past. I can tell you that for sure, because I played with a lot of those players. It was really difficult for us in our era to even command the starting lineup in any teams we played for, you know, because of the quality that was there.
Yet you are celebrated. You are here because I will not invite somebody who's not celebrated. People, you say Godfrey Sapula, people know you because of what you did, and you've just said you struggled for, making the lineup. How do you look back at your playing career?
For me, I think I have no regrets whatsoever, because I think everything that has happened, they say everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you can't see that at that moment, but eventually you are able to see, okay, maybe this was preparing me for that. This was preparing me. Just for an example, to put it into context, when I joined Cosmos, I was more of a winger, a dribbler. I was one of those players. But when I got there, Braje said, no, there was that introduction of a 3-5-2 system with wing backs. Yeah. You hit the line on your own. And he said, Uzodlala la line in, we won. Hey, and from there I played right back. So, but for me, I was like, but man, I'm a talented player. I need to play there. Yeah. And then when I moved into the national team to play as a 6-6, now I got to understand that me playing as a right back was to actually strengthen my defensive qualities, but also, to make me a more versatile player, to be able to cope with the demands of international football. Yeah. But I didn't understand that. But I got to appreciate that when I was able to play as a 6 in the national team, but also when I moved into Pirates playing as a 6 and 8, I got to understand, that was preparing me for this. Yes. But now when I moved into Sundowns to play as a 10, now I combined all the experience of playing 6 and 8 with what I had before I turned professional, because now I was more smart, more matured. Yeah. I could understand how to navigate myself within the field because I was more matured and experienced. So I take all what has happened up until then for me to play my best year towards the end of my career, to say all that was preparing me for this.
Yeah. I mean, that's your career is fascinating in that sense that, yes, you grew, but when you were at almost past what people would say past your peak is when you excelled. I mean, you look at that season, 2006, 2007, when you were just on fire. What were you smoking that year?
I think that was a build-up from the season before. When Angel Kappa came, 2005 and 6, I scored, I think, 8-9 goals, and I got injured that season. And I remember we had a tour, we went for Peace Cup.
Oh, yes.
Korea, and I impressed. We played against Tottenham Hotspurs, Boca Juniors. They were interested, but I got injured, and I could not finish the season because of the injury, but I was on fire that season. I thought, you know what, I want to continue with this. I was 33 then, and so 33. I said, I want to continue with this. I had to push strong to say, I want to play a full season, but continue with the form that I had for the last season. And for me, I can easily say that was the best season of my career.
Yeah. I mean, how do you recover from that injury and then to play as well? Because too often when you're older, you get injured, people say, oh no, that's the end. Especially 30, 32, 33. In South Africa, once you reach that stage, a lot of time people say it's over.
Yes, and it's also important to have coaches that understand you, coaches that believe in you, coaches that say, hey, come back, I need you. I think what I saw in you the last season, push. I think I will need to form a team around you, Also that gave me a good sense of motivation to say, let me go have a personal trainer. I had a personal trainer off season. When the other
on your own,
on my
you
own,
did that yourself.
I had a personal trainer. That 2 months break for me, it was say I make up for the lack of action in the last 2-3 months of the season. Now I need to push so that when the season resume, I'm at the decent level of conditioning, so that I'll be able to continue from that. But also, Sundowns is a team that always have quality players and stars that if you are not at the right level, you might not make the lineup. And I had to push for that. And I did that. And the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, it's player of the season, player of the season. You win those kickoff award, Laduma award, Sundowns. It's how do you reflect on that? It's like wearing Operation Tegenkawas.
Yeah, it was because sometimes when you perform at your best and when you are playing, really it was not a season where I was playing to win those awards.
Okay.
For me, it was a season that I wanted to say, I'm going to give it my best shot because I knew I was on form. I knew I could feel that, a midfielder. I had scored about 7-8 goals the past season. I thought I wanted to get to double digits. I wanted to have my best season. But also, a team like Sundowns, full of stars, you're as good as the next player. The players there also played a role. Because I got a lot of support from the players around me. Who gave me cover and confidence to say, "Hey, Godfather, come do your best. We are here for you."
Yeah. I mean, who coached you that season? Was it
2006 and 7? It's Gordon Igesand. After Kappa left.
So
then Gordon Igesand came.
You had played for Gordon at Pirates.
I had won the league.
I remember with him.
Gordon at Pirates.
Yeah. So it's
so we have that relationship and understanding.
Yeah.
Gordon is also my coach. Is that coach that says, when we are here, I'm comfortable. I know the team will perform. Sometimes you need that type of confidence as a player from the coach. So these are the lessons that I learned. Now I know as a coach that sometimes the players will feed from the confidence that you give it to them as a coach.
You give them
it's really important.
Yeah. I mean, it's we're speaking about your time at Sundowns, which is where you blossomed, yet it was towards the end.
Yeah.
You also had a good time at Pirates because you won the league there.
Yes.
And it was a good Pirates team. What's your reflection of your time there?
I think I had a good time at Pirates because I spent 2 years and we won the BP Top 8. I think we were the finalist in the what cup is this? Forgot who got beat by Cape Town Ajax.
Or was it the Coca-Cola Cup?
I think it was.
Or Rothmans?
No,
it's not
yeah.
Rothmans.
Yeah, so then we won the league. But also, when I sat with the chairman when I joined Pirates, he said, you know what? It's been 7 years we have not won the league. And we are forming a team that we think, chairman has his own ways of saying things. I can't remember how exactly said it about the Egyptian 7.
Oh yeah,
what is it? Something
like
that.
Yeah, the 7 play.
7. I don't know what is it. So he had the way of saying then this is the last year.
Yeah.
After 7 years.
Yeah, no, it's
we're going to win the league.
7 year each.
Yeah, so we forming that team. I know Thabo Mngomeni just came a season before.
Yeah.
They brought your Poland Dlanyas and all that, and it was a good, strong team, and we won the league. Yeah. And it was 7 years before then that Pirate had won the league.
So they had to scratch the itch, as they say. Yeah,
something like. Yeah. So we had won the league, but we also had a very, very strong, talented team. That when I joined Pirates, I had a good time. I enjoyed my stay at Pirates, though it was only 2 years. But won the league, I won BP Top 8. I really enjoyed my stay at Pirates.
Yeah, the thing, you are a coach now, and you've played under different coaches.
Yeah,
we've mentioned Gordon. There was Braje. What are the influences that as you work now, you feel, or sometimes do you find yourself say, "Oh, I sound like Braje," or are there things, nuggets that you find that you've picked up from different coaches?
Yeah, because certain things, they become embedded in you unaware. When you spend a lot of time with these coaches, maybe unconsciously, so you start doing things that you are not aware that came from that environment of spending a lot of time with these coaches. But I try to sit and reflect on what I've gained from all these coaches. What is it that I can take, the good that I can take? I want to be my own coach. I don't want to be a coach that is like any other coach. I have my own way how I see the game. But it's important to be humble and take a good things that can make you improve to be a better coach. Braje was more of a father figure, number one. In that team there was always laughter. Braje made you feel you're at home, you belong here. So I take that from Braje, and Braje, is a coach that will always give an opportunity to unknown young players and give confidence, So those are the things that I've taken from Rajay, for an example. But Gordon is more of a coach who is a manager.
Okay.
To say I manage the team, I manage the egos. He's that type of a coach. So he had a good management style. Kappa was more a technical coach. Technical analysis, how you train. The all the sessions had objectives.
Okay.
Detailed.
Yeah.
So I took that. So I took all these things.
From
Now I try to form my own personality and character as a coach, but also put my own way of how I see the game,
Yeah. I mean, you speak of personality, your personality on the pitch is very loud. We see you are there, you talk, you off the field. I get this, you are not like that.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know of the field what type of a character I am, Yeah, but I guess, when I'm at work, I'm at work.
Yeah.
I'm able to put a different cap and say, now this is work. And fortunately, unfortunately, our work now as a coach, it's not on the field. So you're going to wear a cap of being at work
All the time,
for
really.
every hour, because you drive from home. You already know what type of a session. You have planned a session.
Yeah.
You come there with the coaches. You continue the planning and the preparation. You are at work. You are planning this. You are training. You review. You go home. You also review on your own. Now you plan the next session.
Yeah, nice.
So you put more of that cap now.
Most of the
because
time.
as a coach, it's no longer like as a player that you come, you wait for the coach to tell you what you are doing. You are training and you're going home.
Yeah.
But I mean, you are a driver of this vehicle that you cannot afford, to ungathi kancane izophuma endleleni. So it means kufanele wena uhlala uvukile ungadrive abantu noma ukhathele know ukuthi udrive abantu abangakanani. There's no way wena ungakhathala because ba ungakhathala the bus can crash,
Crash,
So
I mean, you can't have that. We speak up of your successes. You went to Turkey. Brajay was very big on sending you guys to Europe. Not a long time there. How was it? Because Turkey, you hear stories. If
I'll give you mine.
Yeah.
I'll give you mine now. It was not a good one.
Yeah, tell me more. Yeah.
It was not a good one. I didn't have a nice stay in Turkey.
Okay.
I was young. I was 21, 22. I'm not sure if you call it young, but for us it was young. A lot of developers. I'd moved from Cosmos to Turkey.
Yeah.
Now in Turkey, they do the contracts in Turkish. Someone will translate the contract for you, put it in English.
Okay.
But a lot could be lost in the translation, And one thing that was lost was like one of the biggest things, which was how you're getting paid.
Okay.
And the contract, when I read the contract that was translated, it stated that you are getting your money after 4 games. That was perfect for me. 4 games is a month.
Yeah.
So it means 4 weeks, we're playing every week. Nice. I got my money pre-season because there was no games,
Yes.
I got my money, I got my signing on fee. The season started. First month I played, I got the money. Second month I played, I got the money. That was it. That month, I remember I got called up for the national team after playing, I think, 2 games. And then I came here at home for the national team call-up. And then I think it was 2 games back to back. I don't know. So I had to go back. The team had played 2 games already. So which was
missed
4.
2.
I missed 2. No problem, but it's 4 games. I went.
You played 2 matches.
Guys, we have a team that played 4 games, my man. But no, you played 2. But the team had played 4. But no, the contract says you must have played 4. But my interpretation says
I play after
the club,
match.
because it did not stay. There was a gray area. It did not say you or the club.
Individual. Yeah.
And now you go to your agent. Your agent is Turkish. His bread and butter is this. He will not protect you. You know? He did not protect me. Indeed, I thought, okay, let me let this one slide because there's more games. But little did I know, after that there was an earthquake. The year that there was an earthquake, and they stopped football. And we came back, Nabo Polen, Nabo Dum, we came back home, Nabo Helman, because I lived with Helman, we lived in the same house. We're here at home for about 5-6 months because of the disaster. Now, can you imagine this 5 months, 5-6 months, I did not get paid. 6-7 with the other. So it means in that season, I only got paid 2 months. And I was not happy. When we go back, I said, no, but me, I don't want to stay here because I'm not happy because my contract 8 years. It means this is going to continue for the next season. You know, I stayed there for pre-season and I was not happy. And I had offers, but I wanted to take me to, what's this team in France? I forgot the name of the team. They said, no. There's a new coach now coming. We're going to use you and all that. After the 2-3 months here pre-season, the season started, it was the same thing. The new coach came with his quota of players. Of course, they do. Because the foreigners, actually. And I was frustrated. That's how they move from the Turkish team, Ankara Gushu, to Pirates. That's how I moved from Turkey to Pirates. Dr. Koza bought me from the Turkish team to Pirates. That's how I joined Pirates. I only got paid twice in Turkey.
That's it. But I mean, that aside, so your issue is not, because you hear people, it's a foreign land, it's hard, but your issue was not that. Your issue was just the contract was not, because surely if you had understood it better, you probably would have other ideas.
You know, by then, issues of contracts, you know, contract. What is a contract?
You just
contract, okay. Contract says four games. You know. And obviously the exposure, I was only exposed to playing for Cosmos.
You were young.
You know at Cosmos, your contract is a contract. Raja will give you what he gives you. And we are happy, we are okay, you know. To say the contract is this, you must look at this thoroughly and all that. For me, that was new. I didn't understand that.
But that's the thing, hey. It's almost gentleman's agreement back then during your time, you know. But I just says you play, you know he'll pay you. How was it when you joined Pirates? Because that's back then, and there was also the chairman. It's, you know, you take the chairman at his word.
You know, I think when I moved, because also when I moved to take, you know, Rajay also took care of my contract, his part. In terms of, you know, the signing on fee and all that. You know, I was happy. Rajay gave me everything that belonged to me, you know. It's just the challenge was with the Turkish people, you know. But when I joined Pirates, I was a little bit wiser now. Can't you contract? You must take care of 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I was a little bit wiser now. It was an eye-opener. But yes, I'm coming home. You know, the money is not the same. You know. There it was dollars and all that, you know. Then the discussion was that, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give you this and that. And Paris gave exactly what they had promised, you know, in terms of the salary, the signing on fee and all that, you know. Then I was more wiser from that. Also now moving into the Sundowns, I already now wise and understand, you know, how to interpret the things that are in the contract. You know, I took it upon myself based on the experience to say this should not happen to me again.
You played 24 times for Bafana Bafana. Godfrey Sapula, the name and this caps for me don't match. Probably should have been more.
It's exactly what I'm saying. How do you break into a team that have these players in a position that played for 1996 won AFCON? You know, you have Linda Buthelezi, Eric Tinkler, Dr. Kumalo, Shoes Mushweo. That only. How do you break into that team? Leave that team. Now the other players that are fighting for that spot, we have John Meade, Thabo Mngomeni, Thabo Moki. You know, it's a lot of good quality, talented midfielders that we are competing against just to play be
in that team.
not even to start to start, but also
Just
to be on the bench and come in as a sub, So that's how difficult it was. That a lot of players, you see, that era, it was quite difficult to make it into the starting lineup. That's how good those players were. And yeah, maybe I could have gotten more caps because at some stage I was injured. I missed out on was it AFCON, which year, because of injuries and all that. But there's no regrets. For me, the players that were there, that I shared the position with, for me, really, they also deserved to be playing ahead of me. That's how talented they were.
I mean, now and then, when, it's a conversation people will always have.
Yeah.
Is the football now better than during your time?
It's a difficult comparison, to be honest, with technology and resources, and yes, it's better. But I still say now the game does not really believe on talented individuals who can influence the result of the game, just like before. I think we had this discussion earlier. Now they believe in just a team of team of good athletes. And unfortunately, that's where the physicality is more. There's more running now. It's more running than before. Not to say that before there was no running, but there was more talent and finesse and all that compared to now in a way. But now there's more running. There's more, athletes. But the football is different. I would not have a comparison to say which was better. They're all better in their own way, because with the evolution, the demand is different, I guess, because the physicality also take priority now compared to before, So it's really difficult to make.
I don't know. I think that time, your time, the time before was just better. There was Ace Nzwileng. You sit and think. I look at Kima Mfano, he played at Sundowns, Mbule.
Yes.
He's a kid, if allowed, if everything,
yes,
he could do that. But the coaches now are going to say, but he's lazy.
Yeah, it's a tough one, It's a tough one because,
what happens? Let's give it to you now. You get a player who has the ability, a Roger Fidumba or a Dr. Kuman. How do you use that player now in this era?
Yeah, I'll just make you an example. This number 10 thing, for an example, started to fade maybe the last 7-8 years. How you saw that position started to fade, not only in local football. You started to see Zidane playing left wing. So he's a 10 playing left wing, so he can come into the half space, get the ball. But midfield, we have people that can just work. Ronaldinho did not play as a 10. Messi is not playing as a 10. Messi is playing left wing or left striker, right wing. So but he's a number 10, not that old style number 10 that will play with a double pivot and a 10 and two strikers. We don't have that anymore. So I'm saying in that context, I would still think, where can I hide this player? But what are the qualities of this player? Because we got to know other players, their qualities like a Roger, not running, but the pass and the game intelligence, the game IQ second to none. But Messi, more running with the ball. So where do you hide Messi? Messi can hide Messi anyway, can run with the ball. But a Roger, you will not get anything from a Roger maybe playing out wide. I think you can, in the modern game, you can have those players maybe playing as a second striker with that freedom to come short, link with the midfield. But when he gets the ball in an area where he can find a pass to eliminate the last line of defense to create goals, you try and see how can you use those players. But also now the challenge is, we look at the stats. The players must be able to deliver. That player to also give, because this confidence thing is not one-way traffic. It's not only the coach giving the player, but the player must give it back to say, coach, you put me there, but this is what I'm doing, So I deserve to be on the field, So it's sometimes difficult because you find they lack consistency. We talk about those players who are talented, but you just look at them and then you count their matches and then you see how many matches can they give you 4 or 5 strong performances? You find they can't. But a Roger would give you that consistency. That says to you as a coach, he's playing.
But that's where I'm going. That to me says football back then was better because we are developing players who are very different from them. But look, it's not even just in football. I look at my industry in journalism and I'm like, it's not the same. And I suppose we have to move with the times and just appreciate that we live here. Godfrey, you are a dad, and I'm told your son is also a coach. How's that?
Yeah, Lutando Sapula is my son. I think he's been passionate about coaching. Actually, the first thing, he wanted to play.
Okay.
He wanted to play professional football. But, growing up in more areas like suburbs and the schools that he attended, football there, you don't get the number of hours that can make you to be able to compete and be a professional. So we had a big leg in the department. And for a better part, he was blaming me. But Dad, you didn't give me an opportunity to. But I was like, how? Because we opted for school. But your school soccer season is only 1 month or 2 months.
Yeah, I know.
And it's difficult for you to move after school to go. So it was actually a difficult one, But because he was so passionate, he said, no, but this football thing is in my blood. It's with me. And I didn't say go to coaching. He just started coaching young kids 5 years ago, and he started and he joined Rockevs the last few years. He joined Mukoro Milan, the under-13s, and he also won. There was a tournament, I don't know, Pretoria, what he beat our own Sundowns under-13 in the final.
That's nice.
He won that cup, and then he joined Rockevs. He was the under-13, under-14 coach last year. But now he's busy, but he's doing all these, you see these schools, coaching in the schools, but he's also busy with Highlands Park at the moment. Yeah, I'm told he's a talented coach. I'm still yet to see.
What can? Now, you are at Sundowns, the champions of South African football. Can Sundowns defend their league title? Or the Pirates are top of the table now?
No, absolutely. I mean, the league is a marathon. Absolutely. Any of the two teams can win, So, okay, maybe it's good that there's this strong competition.
For the first time
which it has to be, with the talent that we have in the country, but also with saying when we are looking to have a team that will again win Champions League, it starts with the challenges that you get in the domestic league, because sometimes if it's easy to win domestic league, then it's not a good preparation for CAF Champions League. So it means for me, this will say a team that will win the league would have gotten a good, strong preparation to say, come Champions League, we are ready, So I think any of the two teams, I mean, it's early days to say who's going to win, because 15 more games, anything can still happen. But yeah, it's good to see Pirates, challenging, I think, but it's absolutely possible that Sundowns can still win it.
Kaizer Chiefs believe they are challenging. What do you think?
For me personally, they are, but I also don't see, honestly, the consistency in the performance. Okay, the log is telling you that, but I'm not really sure about the consistency in the performance, because that's one thing that can actually say when you analyze the performance and then you see, sometimes it's not a given. We talk about Pirates and Sundowns. But if you talk about the consistency in the performance, you can see the two teams. Yeah. But not really for Chiefs, in terms of consistency in their performance. But football is football, it's not because you never know the second round of the season what could happen. Maybe they can pick and say, yes, we are here, So for me, it's good that all the three top South African teams are there challenging, So for me, it will make the league more interesting.
More exciting.
Yeah, more exciting.
In your league, the Hollywood League, it's, as I say, you guys dominate. What's the goal? The goal, obviously, is always to win.
Yeah.
But how are you foreseeing the season and then going into continental football later on?
Yeah, because obviously, as I'm saying, the women's football is on the rise. If you check the team makeup of the contenders like your TS Galaxy, you'd see your Smeders and the players that they brought to reinforce their squad. tell you that they're also now gunning to say we can win the league because we also want to go to Champions League. They're also reinforcing their coaching department with Coach CB and all the other teams. They're not only reinforcing with the players, but the coaching department. So it tells you that women's football is growing, So we can't say we are expected to win the league, and we are not also looking at where can we also improve so that we maintain and sustain that dominance, So for us, to be honest, yes, as much as the league is growing, we can't benchmark on Hollywood. That's the honest truth, because benchmarking on Hollywood would say to us, we are not ready for CAF Champions League. So it means we got to use this league to see how can we improve our players to prepare for the continent, But we need to benchmark. We need to start to see what's the level of CAF Champions League. The other teams, the ASFA, the other teams that are always there competing. Like now, for an example, you see we are aiming for CAF Champions League, but after CAF Champions League, there's Club World Cup and all that. So it means we have to find a way to raise our level. If you look at ASFA now moving into that level, they lost 6-0 to Arsenal. They lost 4. So it tells you that also after winning the CAF Champions League, you move into class. So it's more difficult. So it means we got to try and raise our level, not benchmark in our local league. Start to benchmark for the teams that are campaigning in Africa, so that we know that our level is there, and we know we want to win there to go to Club World Cup.
To the Club World Cup. The one thing that a lot of us don't get, and perhaps you'll tell me what your view is, the fact that a Kaizer Chiefs and an Orlando Pirates do not have a women's club. What does that do to South African football? Because those are like the biggest clubs in the land, historically.
We would love to have that. Apparently, I don't know. It's a rumor or what that Chiefs they're starting to. I think it will bring more hype and excitement, not only from the men's side, but to say the competition can grow beyond the men's game, and because of the resources, they can also try to attract the best players. So it will raise the level of competition within the women's game. And that will actually say it's a better preparation for the team that wins to go to CAF Champions League, because maybe the competition locally, domestically was such that, okay, there's more competition, But I think it should move towards that level.
Yeah. Because, I'm thinking all the clubs have MDC. My silly logic would be move that to the women's side and say all PSL clubs must have a women's. Then you just have, it's all then easier professionalized than what it is now. But I suppose.
Yeah, because also as you talk about DDC is good, but because you're preparing the players for first team. But already in the women's football, there's CAF Champions League. There's something bigger. There's Club World Cup, There's something bigger, the club can now go and compete in the continental stage, So I think,
and build
I
that
would agree
brand
with you. I would concur with you.
Yeah. You told me about your short-term goal. How many years are you giving yourself to be coach of Mamelodi Sundowns senior team?
I don't know. I think
Rulani went there when he was a baby, man. He was much younger.
For Rulani, because I was with Rulani at the academy. We worked together. I respect Rulani, and talented coach. And now for me is when you're at Sundowns, you always want to give it your best shot wherever you're placed. Hence from the academy, even where I am now, is to make sure you give the best version of yourself to serve the club, But obviously you have the ambition to grow and be better. Hopefully it's not going to take long.
Yeah. I wish that for you. Now, Godfrey, thank you so much. Thank you for making time for us. We wish you all the best with the ladies team. But as I look, and it's not to look down on the ladies team, but it's, it's the higher level. Coaching the biggest club. I am one of those who loved watching you play. We've covered lots of games when you played, and it's always good to see you guys still involved, because you've seen over the years players, we celebrate you and then you disappear, you hear sad stories. This picture here. The memories of this?
I remember this picture very well. It is just a few weeks or months after I left Orlando Pirates, and and the fans were not happy that
you scored against them.
I had moved across and not serious booing, you know, but to say, but why did you leave, you know? And but others were like, you know, and I had scored a goal against Pirates, you know.
Are you making Monapule Saleng ready for this? Because he's just also done the move to. There's been quite a few players who've done that. He's joined Sundowns from Pirates because.
Yeah, I think moving from Pirates to Sundowns, it's, you know, sometimes it's for one reason or the other. You never know, you know. I respect, these are both big clubs, you know, but it's for whatever reason that the player can find himself having to make a move from Pirates to Sundowns. You know, I just wish him the best of luck. And, you know, in terms of the pressure and the expectation, these are both big clubs. And for me, if he's at Sundowns, he can push, he can go back to the national team and all that, you know. So for me, Pirates and Sundowns, these are both big clubs. So I think it deserves to play for either of the two.
Okay. That's Godfrey Godfather Sapula. Like I said, what do you GZS? Somebody tells me, do you still have that gushesh? That was GZS.
I have my gushesh. Everybody's asking me. Okay, not everybody. Our
people
generation.
Sure. Because everybody knew that.
Our generation. Yeah, no, I don't have it anymore. Engine. I had given to someone.
Should never
gave
do
it
that.
to his younger brother. Something was spinning and blew the engine.
Excuse. We don't give people our cars.
I didn't know.
Yeah, now
you know. I didn't know it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Happens.
But now I know.
Yeah.
It won't happen again.
How do you feel like that? We all remember that gushesh.
I don't know. And a lot of people, I don't understand. How come a lot of people know that car and remember that car?
Just different. Just beautiful. That's Godfrey Godfather Sapula. Thank you so much for joining us here on Inside SA Soccer with me, Bra Jakes. Just blast from the past. Join us again in the next episode.